Scott, when you went back and watched the film, did it change your opinion much, or was it pretty much what you thought after the game on Saturday?
Yeah, pretty much what we thought. I thought the effort was outstanding. You can't find anybody loafing. The guys played really hard. We got to do a few things better, and then we had just a few kind of catastrophic plays that changed the whole game.
The sacks that Illinois produced, did you see sort of a combination of things? Did you like how quickly Adrian was getting the ball out, or how do you kind of size that up?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a lot of things. I didn't think we protected well enough. That's one of the things that we were drilled down on today and talked to the guys about. And they did a good job. I give it to them. There were some twists in games that are tough to pick up that we didn't. But in general, we got to have more time for our quarterback to throw.
I know it was a first game for Kearney, so you factor that in. Maybe you didn't punt as well as you wanted to. Have you seen some good stuff though how do you feel about your kicking operation?
Both punters have been doing exceptionally well in practice. His first effort, I expected to get a lot better. Probably some nerves and things there, but there's a lot of hidden yardage. They got a couple punts and pinned us, and we had chances to do it and didn't. We put a lot of emphasis on special teams. Thought the coverage units did a really good job. Made the one critical error on punt return and did what we weren't trained to do and coached to do, and got to punt a little better, and then obviously missed 2 extra points. Those are some of the mistakes we can't have happen.
When you look at the offensive line, when you look at the game versus what you saw in camp, square up, or what's the deal there?
Yeah, I give them credit. We watched a lot of tape on them, tried to give our best guess to what they were going to do. They played an entire spring game in odd and came out and played an even with wide 9s and 5s, and we just hadn't had as many reps at that. So that had a little bit to do with it. But hey, we got to be better. We got to establish run. We got to be ahead in the game so we can commit to the run. When you get behind in a game, then you're forced to do a few more things, and there are a lot of factors that led to that.
How rare is it for a defense to come out with those guys trying to get around your tackles the way they were?
Not rare, just not. We weren't expecting it. A lot of people play, wide 5s, wide 9s. We had prepared some for that look. We had prepared for the contingency that they might do that, but certainly not what we were expecting.
Hey, Scott, is there anything that Caleb could have done differently? I mean, look, we didn't get a definitive view on the telecast per se. Did you see anything on film?
Yeah, all I saw during the game was the bang play of him hitting the quarterback right as he was throwing it. He's got to be smart and not bury him into the turf. I assume that's what they called. That play right there was probably the biggest play in the game. Caleb's been playing wonderful all fall. I thought his level of play in that game was good, but there's critical moments where you got to make a snap decision and a smart decision and a decision that's best for your team. There was a few times in that game that we didn't, and those mistakes really cost us.
You mentioned the game script being part of you guys can commit to the run. How much does that play into pass protection? When they know you're going to throw the ball, that makes it a little bit tougher for them to protect, right?
Yeah, certainly. Their backup quarterback came in, did a tremendous job, but that's the situation you want for a guy like that to come in up 7 or up 14, be able to run the ball and throw when you need to, and then that's a little different situation than being behind and throwing. We had every opportunity to be in command of the game at halftime and made some critical errors that turned it into a deficit at halftime, and that changed the style of play for both teams.
Was Lubick calling the plays on Saturday, or was he?
No, I was calling the plays.
Was there a moment where you reconsidered that? Like, because you had kind of talked about Matt kind of doing it, and then
Saturday. No, I haven't talked about Matt and I doing it. We collaborate. The whole staff collaborates, and it was just an interesting game because about half of our game plan was kind of out the window when they came up and lined up the way they did. So we really had to scramble and go to alternative plan and try to adjust, and did some good things, but not enough of them.
Did that impact not getting some younger guys, some younger skill guys into the game that you had wanted to, the fact that you had to throw out part of your game plan?
Not really. I want our team to understand, and I think they do, that if they're going to play a lot of snaps or as many reps as they want to, they need to practice well all week and show us that they're prepared. There are certain guys I think we planned on playing more, and I wish would have played more, and some others that need to step it up and practice well during the week to earn the playing time.
How often does that happen in the course of your career where half the game plan was out?
Not very often. Not very often, and I told you we kind of turned our attention to these guys a little earlier than normal to really get dialed in on a game plan. Now we took a day in the middle of that and practiced for contingencies and other things they might do, and so the guys knew what they were doing and prepared, but it's, certainly some of the schematic things that we had planned for them weren't there because of what we got.
You started Gabe Urban at running back. How close has that competition been? And I think he was the first true freshman in the modern era Husker football to start. Just sort of that achievement for him.
Yeah, he's come in and done a great job being a veteran, acting like a veteran. He and Step had the best week and a half of preparation leading into the game, and they deserve to play. Ramir Johnson's done a really good job. When we got into kind of 2-minute and throwing mode, we wanted somebody in there that was a little bit of threat in the pass game, and every week at certain positions there's going to be competition, and guys that practice the best are going to get more time.
I know you don't like to get into injuries too much, but Casey Rogers and Vokalek are obviously two key guys. Do you feel like they're close?
Yeah, they're getting close. They're getting close.
Hey, Scott, what do you hope to get out of a game like this playing Fordham, just after last week especially?
Well, we just got to play well. In a lot of ways, we did play well. I said it after the game, but I really like this team. Our team has a chance to win a lot of games if we play well. The self-inflicted wounds can't happen. Every time we get a chance to get on the field and execute at a higher level and get a little better, it's going to make us a better team down the stretch.
Scott, is there a different feeling heading into this home opener, maybe to pass, especially just because it's been so long that you played in front of a packed Memorial Stadium?
Yeah, there's a different feeling for me. We missed the fans so bad. Being in Memorial Stadium last year with an empty house, it was almost depressing. And there's so much passion here, so many good fans. We can't wait to see them on Saturday.
What kind of atmosphere do you anticipate?
I've been to a lot of Husker games over my years in my life, and don't expect it to be any different.
What did Wyatt and Oliver in particular do to kind of earn this playing time? A year ago now, they didn't play a lot. I mean, Oliver couldn't even practice, but a year later, they're really two of your top 4 or 5 receivers. What did you see from them in camp that proved to you, maybe over some people that other people might say are more talented, that these are the guys you want on the field?
We have multiple receivers that I think can go in and function and play and make plays, and quite a few made plays on Saturday. I think we need to rotate them even more. Toward the end of the game, we could have kept some fresh guys on the field because we have a lot of guys ready to play. Those 2 guys have been extremely consistent, haven't missed any time. So as those guys are all competing, I think it was just consistency that put them a little bit ahead.
How much of a role does a quarterback trusting receiver? When you were a quarterback, I'm sure there were guys in your career where you're like, I trust that guy, I trust him. How much does Adrian's trust in them factor into a receiver's playing time?
Well, you got to earn trust in anything you do. I think there's a lot of guys Adrian trusts right now. Some have been at every practice, and some have missed a little time, and certainly consistency helps. But we got enough guys out there to keep fresh guys on the field, and everybody's got to know what they're doing, and we should be able to have some receivers with juice out there all the time.
Good. Xavier Betts played a few snaps, special teams wise. Was he one of the guys that you would have maybe liked to have gotten it, worked into the rotation?
Yeah, I think the plan for Xavier was to play a little more, and I expect his reps will go up as we go on here.
What has held back? What held back his reps going into this game?
Xavier's a super talented kid. He's been improving every day since he's been here. Like I said, consistency has to matter. to some degree, him and everybody else. You got to do it all week and give teammates and coaches and everyone else confidence that you're going to be in the right place and do the right thing all the time.
Last we heard, Saturday isn't sold out yet. Do you have any thoughts on the sellout streak and its importance, or maybe a message to fans who might have lost some excitement after Saturday?
Well, I hope nobody lost excitement after Saturday. This team has a chance to be really good. I think this team's going to prove a lot to a lot of people. You know, if there's still some tickets out there, buy them up and come watch this team. There's a special group of kids with a lot of character, a lot of talent. We can't wait to play in front of the fans, so we need you there.
Adrian said there was a couple throws, obviously, like have that quarterback probably thinks that all the time. Is there a common thread, the one to Hickman and the one to Lieber in the end zone are both going the same way? Is that tough for a quarterback in his progression to come all the way back to that side?
No, I don't think so. When you watch the tape, there are some unbelievable throws Adrian made, sometimes with too much pressure standing right on top of him. So we got to make sure he's cleaner to make the throws that we've been seeing him make all spring, all fall. He missed two, but when we get layups, we can't miss them.
Would you grade out the offensive line?
I'd let Coach Austin answer that. I've watched the tape 5 times, but I certainly didn't go play-by-play and grade it.
What advantage do you think Verduzco being on the field gave you on Saturday? Adrian liked it, but.
Yeah, I think just better communication, having him down there. Also, some of the things we're doing, having Coach Held in the box, gives us some eyes that see things a little differently, and we decided to go that route this year, and that part worked pretty well.
Oliver going to be the punt returner from here on, based on what happened?
No, you know, Cam Taylor is one of our best players. I love him like a son. He's a black shirt. He's a captain. You can't try to make a play when you've been trained to do something else, and he'll learn from it.